Thank you. Zolunjan? I'm all right. We've got a lot to get through.
Yep.
Let me go through protocol because those fundisa as per usual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Sure.
Of which number 11 is closing remarks. Number 10 is Q&As from DMs, which we probably won't get to, but I'm just putting it there as protocol. Number 9, I've got a note. Anything that we don't get to today, I urge people to follow you on social media.
Okay.
And you didn't question me adding this. People must listen to your nikakas.
Well, no, I have absolutely no questions for you. I trust you.
But people must listen to your nikakas.
Yeah, like today I'm going to, yes.
Dope. Okay.
Yeah, ngiyafundisa nakhona.
Legacy yezibaya.
Yeah.
Mostly TikTok?
TikTok.
Mostly TikTok.
Educational videos, yeah.
So anything we don't get to today, people must please follow you at Legacy Yezibaya. At Legacy_Yezibaya, something like that. But if people type in Legacy Yezibaya, and I'll put a link
the only thing that shows up
in the comments. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 cases, and then an act. We'll see how far we get there.
Okay.
We have asked for volunteers.
Okay.
And I want to just rehash some of the volunteers that,
nice.
When we said last time that you raised. I've got a list. And I know some people DM'd me and we said we'd set up a WhatsApp group, but now, which is a blessing, but it's also a curse. Conveyancing attorneys,
yes.
Estate administration attorneys, LLB graduates,
yes.
property estate agents,
yeah.
deeds office employees, master's office employees, and we're asking people to be volunteers because we're busy and we need other people. Let's say we're busy to try and help.
Yeah.
Because if these people can assist you, assist me, we can run a better country, have a better economy, and all of us can make more money. So those are very, very important.
That's cute. The money making part.
Very important.
Very
Emphasize.
Cute. Extremely cute.
Oh, it's cute. And then you'd also said to me privately that you're really looking for conveyancing attorneys from the following townships in particular.
Okay.
Soweto, which is very huge. Umlazi, which is Durban. Mdantsane, which is East London. Emonti. Is it Langlaagte? Hier
Langlaagte.
Okay. Imarisbek, very important. Angazukhuluma ngembali. Namalogisha seMaritzburg.
Yeah.
And then Amalogisha sePitoli or Mamelodi at Richville.
Yeah.
Mabopana, Hammanskraal. What was this supposed to be? Number 4.
Let's see. I don't know what you
Not Kwalanga, mhla.
No. Ilogish, we definitely need.
I forwarded what you sent to me. I didn't type this out.
Oh, is it? You had to put that.
So
you
just
couldn't take the
before
credit
you
for.
Predominantly to assist with conducting wind deed searches for people who want to know who the owner of their family homes is.
In Cape Town.
Walanga in Cape Town.
It's Langa in Cape Town. Yeah, I got a lot of calls from there.
Okay,
yeah,
Walanga. But also anyone in the Cape Flats, guys, please reach out to Zola. As I said, TikTok, you can find her, send her DM. Let's see if we can set up this WhatsApp group. Let's see if some of you who are better than us can lead the group, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to ensure some type of spatial, economic justice for our families. Many of you don't know your grandmother's house, your grandfather's house, who it belongs to, but you guys actually don't know, and we can try and assist. Or you guys that are going to be volunteering can try and assist other people. Again, you can try and find ways to make money. We can try and get sponsors, donors, whatever the case may be. But we're trying to help in places where, unfortunately, Hulmeniwetu is not helping. Let's start officially. Number 1.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for our last sit-down on Convo. Thank you for the sit-down we had with Tuputuetu Nhlanhla Lax. I wanted to give a shout-out to him as well while you're here.
Lax.
And then obviously our first sit-down, which was my first interview this year. But at least since then, we've been eating meat in nice places, having great chats.
A lot of lovely meat, Yeah, true.
No, that's the beginning for me. I don't know if you want to say anything before we get to...
Okay, well, look, Nami, I was actually thinking about the fact that we came here and that's where I started the podcast avenue with you at the beginning of January. And I also was taking note of the fact that it's now a year's anniversary since the Dlamini case, which is how you went out to go look for me. And I mean, there's quite a few. There's a small thing I want to say about the fact that it's now a year since the Dlamini case, and I've gone back to legal clinics in the communities. I was in Soweto last week Friday. The Mgambi Foundation invited me to a legal clinic, a Protea Glen. Shout out to that foundation. They're doing great work, like Protea Glen. Those elderly are very empowered and very spoiled. I love it for them.
Spoiled.
I love very, very spoiled.
Come on.
It's consistent. They know which hall to go to. It's very clean. It's cute. Lalela, I love it for them. Abo Gogo, Nabum Kulu. And they're so happy. They blessed me. But what I realized is that people in Soweto, because Protea Glen says Soweto, they're still going through exactly the same problems as when I started the legal clinic 3 years ago. It's almost as if the Dlamini case, and that's the point I was making, especially when I was speaking to Ubutu David Mashabela, is that a court case alone is not going to make change. Yeah. It has to be followed either by legislation or it has to be followed by processes that people can follow. But instead, what we're finding is we have to keep referring people to the lawyers for human rights. And they'll come back and say, oh, no, there's a queue now. Generally, the lawyers for human rights are helping with this family home issue. You know, I'm very proud of what they're doing there because I send everyone there. Remember, I don't litigate. So I advise legally. So I then send them to people who must litigate, which is why we are collecting this list of attorneys and legal practitioners, you and I, around the country. And so the Dlamini case, therefore, was great in that it's the first time that a family home is recognized as a structure in South Africa. And it's so important because it's such an important and prevalent asset in the hands of black people in the communities. Yeah. But the Dlamini case is still requiring people to go to court and get their own cases. In fact, we can't even find the judgment itself. I have so many messages from lawyers around the country asking me, can I have a copy of the Dlamini case? I can't find it. I've looked for it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know where it is. And lawyers and advocates are asking me, where is it? So if there's a legal practitioner or a system that knows where the Dlamini case is without us having to go to court and find the file, that would be great. So we can
online,
get the whole printed. No, I couldn't find it. Okay. I even stopped looking.
So we need to find the Dlamini case.
Yeah, we need to find the actual
entire
official judgment.
Do you know the official?
Sylvia Dlamini, Nomthandazo Dlamini versus Sylvia Dlamini. Yeah, look it up, please.
Must I look it up, or do you remember?
Look it up. It's Nomthandazo Dlamini versus Sylvia Dlamini.
Nomthandazo. Dlamini versus Sylvia. Okay, now. Dlamini versus S.
Let me see.
This one at the top. You can read there.
No, this is on the count of murder. You can't.
This is something else.
Yeah, it's another case.
Okay.
You can't find. I tried to find it. I don't know why it's not printed.
S versus Dlamini, and others. Because I saw it coming up when I was searching. Okay, I'll check it. This National Archives.
Okay. Sylvia Dlamini versus Moses Dlamini. No, that's a divorce matter.
Jeez.
S versus Dlamini, an important case. South African procedure dealt with the change of constitutionality of certain provisions of Section 60. No, this is a 1999 case.
Yazin, put the phone down.
Yeah.
So Sylvia Dlamini versus Nomthandazo Dlamini and others.
Sylvia Dlamini. Nomthandazo Dlamini and others versus
Sylvia Dlamini. So anyone who can please get us this case.
Sylvia, the first one was an eviction matter where Sylvia evicted Nomthandazo Dlamini and others after she got the house because her father passed away and left the house to her in a will. And then Nomthandazo then went to the lawyers for human rights to go and get help and have the family home declared as a family home. So the case is nowhere to be found.
Study case. Omkwanas by your pen.
Get family home. I'm recognizing the milestone and the fact that it's 360. We are here today. So I'm happy to be here. It's always great. Yes, Ukhala now inside here and out there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Marriages Act.
Yeah.
Is what I wanted a summary of.
Oh, yeah.
If you think it's important. Otherwise, again, people can check on TikTok.
Okay.
You spoke of a case that is excluding absent fathers from inheriting interstate.
Yes, I was so surprised to see that.
There was a case you and I touched on briefly in private around Didi Mabuza, the ex-deputy president, who has passed on. There was a case relating to his daughter.
Okay.
And then there's a Telkom case that you've been hounding me on about for the past couple of months. I don't know which of these is the most important to you.
Well, let's see my book.
Sure.
Oh, I know that we are being time conscious people.
No,
today.
Don't be time conscious.
I mustn't.
Don't.
Okay,
no, don't.
Perfect then. Let me be myself. So I've got this diary. I mean, I love books, ne? I love them. And I always get them as gifts when I publicly speak. But this one is from Soft Landing for Women. And the reason it's so important to me, and our interview and these cases is the first thing I've written in this diary. I got it from an amazing lady by the name of Dr. Sibu. She's a gynecologist based in Durban. And I'm mentioning her, Dr. Sivu. Shout out, Sisi, because she's such a sister, such a girl's girl. And when I called around Durban to find out about her, because she invited me to come speak at her menopause summit this year, I called to find out, Dr. Sivu, do you know her? All the people I called were like, she's such an amazing female, and she adores women. I love that. And it's such an opposite to what people always say about women. Yes, we're always competing. And I went to an event. It was fantastic, very lavish. Oh, Durban ladies. Hey, and everyone there was just amazing. So I just want to say shout out to the ladies in Durban because they've welcomed me so amazingly in their circles. I had spoken to events in Durban this year. So yeah, that's that. Now, with that being said...
No, shout out to Dr. Sibu, man. Dr. Sibu Lubelwana.
Yeah, let me see.
Gynecologist in Durban.
100%.
Okay. Dr. Sibu Lubelwana.
Amazing.
Shout out to her and shout out to Soft Landing for Women.
Yeah, boy. Thank you, Pen. Okay, so you said the cases now. Yes, I've obviously been hounding you about the Telkom, the pension fund. That's the Telkom case.
It was bothering me, that case.
Because we came here to talk about Section 37C, right? And that's where, like, I think it is Ultra Podcast, right? On TikTok.
Shout out to Ultra Podcast.
That loves posting.
That's my boy.
Our podcast. I know you have one very good.
That's my boy.
And the Section 30C one got 1.4 million views. The one where we talked about men giving women, imali on the side. And the consequence of those side chicks then using Leo Mali as proof of dependency to claim. So what makes the Telkom case so important is that the wife took Telkom Pension Fund Administrator to court because Telkom Pension Fund Administrator gave, obviously, the man's pension to the side chick. I won't go into Section 37 because I feel like I've spoken about it everywhere. Literally everywhere. You just need to type Section 37C on Google and all those videos will come up, most of them ours. But what I loved about that case is there's a wife that actually stood up and said, no, I understand the requirements of Section 37C. I understand that there's the whole means. If she earns less than me, she's going to get paid more. I understand if the children that she comes with are younger than mine as a wife, her children are going to get more. But actually, the circumstances of my family need this pension. So, and the courts actually made a decision in the wife's favor. To return the pension, because obviously the pension fund administrator had granted the pension to the side chick.
Sorry to slow you down. Yeah. Section 37C of the Pension Funds Act.
Yeah,
that's what you're speaking to.
Section 37C of the Pension Funds Act, yeah.
And you're saying in this case, Telkom.
Telkom Pension Fund Administrator.
Okay, and this was where the guy was working.
This is where the guy was
working. So the 7th Telkom, and then pension yake had to be paid out.
Telkom or Eskom? Let me just see.
I think it's Telkom.
Telkom or Eskom? Stand to be corrected.
Okay.
Telkom or Eskom?
I'll check it quickly. You don't know the guy's surname?
No, I didn't get his name.
Okay, cool. I'll check for you.
Okay, cool. Check if it's Eskom or Telkom, because that's very important.
So this guy was Shona.
Yeah, he passed away.
He had a wife.
Pension. Yeah, he had a wife.
He had a girlfriend.
He had a girlfriend.
He had children with both of them.
He had children with both of them, or either. What's important for the sake of analyzing this case was the fact that he had a wife and he had a girlfriend, and the pension fund administrator gave the pension to the girlfriend.
Why?
How? Section 37C. We spoke about this.
No, but for people
I was about to. Once the finger is ready. Number one, for the pension fund to be administrated, once you pass away, Section 37C takes over. And in one of the videos that I did recently, a lot of ladies came up to say, I said, it's very important for wives to know that they must apply. They are assuming just because they married to the man, they automatically should be getting his pension. And then they're always surprised when the pension payout comes out and they don't even get anything.
So
they didn't apply.
Important.
Yeah.
Wives must apply?
Yeah, and for their children.
Okay.
Because the wives make a mistake of sitting at home thinking, "Bengishadile naye le ngane zethu, therefore your pension fund yazi ukuthi fanele yenze." No, it doesn't work like that. Once Section 37C triggers, you all have to apply. You and the side chicks' children and your children and his mother and his sisters, everyone must apply as dependents. And then obviously the dependents then get filtered to two. A legal dependent, which is his children and his wife, and then factual dependent, which is everyone else that has proved that they are dependent on him, which is where the girlfriends come in, obviously. So now, Telkom Pension Fund or Eskom, please check for me so I stop using
I hope this is the right case. Mutsila.
Let me see. Oh, you did find something. All right. Telkom.
Are you sure it's the case? Kuleg, please take your time and just check if it's the right case.
Yeah, let me check.
But you can also go down and just see if there's any articles.
Okay. No.
It's not. Outing check. It might be Eskom.
I mean,
I just want to check with you now. Lento ukuthi, when you're working for a company and you're filling in all of these forms for pension, they do ask for beneficiaries next of kin.
Sure.
Isn't that where like your pension goes automatically?
They use the beneficiary nomination form as consideration for decision making. It's not the last word, no.
So mina ngisebenza at a company and ngibhalile ukuthi no ngifuna imali yemama, my mom. Mhlawumbe nomakoti, maybe I've got kids but I'm like I trust my mother. So I'm putting her there. You're saying it doesn't automatically go to my mom?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It
doesn't.
No, it does not.
My mom has to go and apply.
So what the trustees, you've given your mom an upper hand by putting her name there. So the trustees will then send her a form and say, apply. You must still prove dependency. You must still prove dependency. To the trustees. Section 37C has taken over.
Okay, no. I'm struggling.
Okay, leave the case.
No, it's okay. No, not the case.
I know. Let me.
Anyways, maybe the case is not important, and we can speak to the merits.
The only thing that makes it important is that I don't want to say it's Telkom when it's Eskom, but it's between Eskom and Telkom.
Sure, because the companies might have an issue. I'll look for it.
Yeah, we'll clarify that. So
I'm struggling with what you're saying, so I'm trying to. I know you said I interrupt, and I do, and I apologize.
No, please interrupt me. It's okay.
Ngumchita.
Yeah.
Okrendi. Oithandayo. And.
Yes,
and I'm working for a company and I'm trying to do the right thing.
Yes.
So I put down my wife as a beneficiary because she's the mother of my 3 children.
Sure.
I happen to have Koni Cherengang Jolana years ago in Nengane one.
Yeah.
So my wife is written there, and in my head I'm thinking, as soon as I pass away, the company I work for is going to contact her because maybe there's a phone number or an email address.
And that's what she's thinking too.
Sure. Mm-hmm. And you're saying, if someone passes away that you are married to, that you're close to, go contact their employer.
Yeah.
And find out, did this person have a pension?
Yeah.
Who does it sit with?
Yes.
And then once you go there, you may need to apply.
You do.
With the company holding the pension. Let's say an Alexander Forbes or whatever.
Sure.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm saying you are the good man.
Of course, always.
And you as a good man are an employee, right? So you have a pension. Yeah. You're employee, you have a pension. The 2 biggest assets sitting in the hands, I just want to state this. The 2 biggest assets sitting in the hands of abantu abamnyama are family homes and the pension. Because the family homes were given to our great-grandfathers and the pension fund, most abantu abamnyama are employees.
Sure.
Now, this pension, you do this beneficiary nomination form. I nominate my wife as a beneficiary to this pension, etc. You don't give it to your HR department, who gives it to the pension fund administrator of that company. Right? Mm-hmm. Not all companies have pension fund administrators within their company. Most will outsource it to a pension fund administrating service provider like Alexander Forbes and all the others. We're just mentioning Alexander Forbes because it's been in the news with the Didi Mabuza matter. Yeah. All right, so I'm saying wives will then make the mistake of sitting at home thinking Vela was his wife, I have his children, the pension fund will give me the funds. Sure. And I'm saying that's not the case. Once he passes away, and the pension fund is a lump sum death claim, it triggers Section 37C, which means everyone must apply. What the beneficiary nomination form does is it gives that wife an upper hand because the husband has at least put her name there and contact details so that the trustees can contact her to give her the forms so she can apply. Okay. Everyone must apply. Okay. No one gets given a pension fund in terms of Section 37C without applying as a dependent. Once everyone has applied, the wife on behalf of the children, or the children if they're over the age of 18, the side chicks, not the old baby mamas in the example you've put. We're talking about live, active relationships while a man is married that he has with other females. And from that relationship, he then sends money. Most of the time, he has to send money value because he must compensate for the fact that when he gets home, they can't call him.
I couldn't do show, but okay.
As for the controversy, we say dramaless. Sure. These side chicks, whether it's because they know they're not on the beneficiary form or not, they are always quick to go apply. Immediately when the man dies and they find out he has died. Some of them might be respectful and not attend his funeral. Some might even go and attend his funeral.
Respectful.
Okay, as the foot love because there's controversy.
Anyway, sorry.
Now, when we get there, they then go and apply these side chicks. They also proceed to apply for the children they have with this man, correctly so, because it is his children. But the point I'm making is the side chicks themselves use the money he was sending to them to apply for them as dependents, right?
As factual dependents.
As factual dependents. The wife has either been contacted because she's on the form or she's not. Maybe he put his mother like you just said. Then they will only contact the mother because they only have contact details of the mother. The wife is sitting at home not applying for herself and her children, his children, thinking it's automatic because we are his family. It doesn't work like that once Section 37C triggers. We must all apply. Now, if the pension fund administrators have not contacted you, it's your job, Vele, to find out, okay, my man worked for the government. Who administers the government pension fund? My man worked for Telkom. Who administers Telkom's pension fund? Eskom, whatever institution they were working for the bank. Who is the administrator so that we can go notify them, hey, we exist and we are potential dependents. We are going to apply now so that you can analyze and determine who are the dependents, all of them. Once we know who the legal and the factual dependents are, it then goes to how the distribution works out. And the distribution, the criteria of it is age and means. The age impacts the children. If the children of the side chick are younger than the children of the wife, then they're going to give those children, because they're not side chick or wife's children, they are the man's children.
They'll get more money.
They will give more money to the side chick's children because they still have to go through primary and high school.
Sure.
Whereas the children of the wife are ordinarily older. And I said when I first started making this video on Section 37C, mama in the comment section on TikTok, because mama, gogo bagcwele ku TikTok. I'm so happy for them. I'm TikTok gogo bethu shame. I love it. Ubona ngala ma link abasendela wona kuma family groups ukuthi yo manje kulo TikTok lo mama lo washo wathi mntana, I'm so glad you're raising this point, because mina make sure ubaba I had to resign my job to get my pension, because all of his pension went to the woman he was dating, but more importantly, to the children he had with those women. And my child was in matric. Those kids, some of them hadn't even started school. And that's why the pension went there.
Sure.
So I had to resign, the last parent with an income, so I can get my pension to take our kids to Vasit and get. So now, that's what I'm trying to emphasize. You must go and apply. But I'm just generally, as a summary, saying women should not rely on the men's pension. But that's so hard when I've just explained in the hands of black people, majority of black people are two assets. A family home that they're fighting over because all of us own it, and a pension because all of us are employees. I think the education system is funded to be employees. Sure. So now, if the two biggest assets in the hands of black people are the two most fought for assets, that means generational wealth in the black hands is a dream. It's not something that's foreseeable or feasible in that way, not for the masses of black people, but just a few elites. But also it's surprisingly shocking how even people in the executive positions, even people in sports that earn a lot of money, they pass away broke because they don't do estate planning from an idea of generational wealth. All we know from a minimalistic perspective is We must save. And I also find so surprising how many people are even using, for example, money markets to save large amounts of money, bank products. People really need to see financial planners. It is something that I think I want to bring in here as a conclusion to Section 37C. If you see financial planners and financial advisors, you can structure your wealth, no matter how small, medium, or large it is, so that it can go to the next generation. Yeah, basically. That's what's going on with Section 37C.
We'll check the case there.
Yeah.
Just to see if it is the case or not.
Cool.
But please read it in your time. I want to give a shout out, man, to Umalibongwe Zondi. Zondi, I think, Kakashi, if I'm not mistaken. Umalibongwe is the guy who actually runs Ultra Podcast, and he does a lot of great work in finding clips for the work that I do.
Yeah.
Section 37C of the Pension Funds Act. A legal dependent being legally your wife and then maybe your children, and then a factual dependent becomes someone who can prove that they were dependent on you financially. Bank statements and the like.
Yeah, yes,
okay.
This is it. It's Telkom.
That's the case.
Thank you. You found it. It was going to bug us.
No,
I'm glad to see I'm bugging on my own. Yes. Okay, so we covered the Dlamini case and how it's a year anniversary, but we haven't seen much change. All right, and then we only have the customary marriage cases. Okay. Before we carry on,
Mudau.
Yeah.
For anyone that wants to search the cases, you can find them online. The Mudau family on the one side, the Mafunisa family on the other side, Telkom Retirement Fund, and then, as you said with the administrator, this time it's Momentum Metropolitan Life.
Momentum, okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Before you carry on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a good guy, as I said.
Yeah, but shame.
So on their behalf, I need to ask some of these questions again.
Yes, keep on.
And slowly. No, oh, no, I've got no time. They don't know my life. They're not invested in my life. They don't provide for my kids. Bafuna go social media, and where we can, we answer them. Where we realize they're not here to learn, and we keep it moving.
Okay. Noted.
I work for a company with a pension fund. It's been administrated somewhere. I put a beneficiary down. As soon as I pass away, my wife, who hopefully looks after my kids, any girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife that has my children in particular, because they are dependents, anyone who's reliant on me, maybe my mother, my father, they should make it a mission, a point to go and apply, to go and get this information. Yeah. Very important.
They should make it a mission to find the forms, yes, from the pension fund administrator. I mean, you just read now, the Telkom pension fund administrator in this case is Momentum, right? Yeah. So we know with the government mostly, especially with parliament people after the Didi Mabuza matter, and they started calling to find out, can we do like a review of their pension converting into living annuity? And then it was obviously Alexander Forbes there with the government tender on the pension.
I don't know if you know, Patrice Motsepe owns Alexander Forbes now.
Does he own Alexander Forbes?
I think Ramaphosa used to have a stake. I think he owns it now. Anyways, it's not important. It's not important.
Okay,
And you're saying if everything is above board, you're the wife, you've got kids, or maybe you as the wife know he's got other kids, we are kuluma no sis, with sis ngane. You guys apply, however it's determined, you guys get payouts and it's fine.
Yeah.
The problem comes in if there's an issue somewhere. Yeah. And in this case, there was an issue because Ingane went to, you're calling it a side chick, but let's just say a girlfriend and not his wife.
Yeah.
And that became the issue. And maybe the big lesson here is to ensure, because there's an argument for wives, 100%, but there might be an argument for girlfriends as well. Because as Shadile, for many reasons, we decided to not get divorced. We moved out. You've moved on. So daughter, I've got a girlfriend. It's been 3 months since we've separated, or it's been 2 years. Yes, it's a divorce. It's just busy. And then I pass away. My girlfriend maybe has got 3 kids with me. And that's part of the reason why we split.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have any children. And the lesson is just, if you're dependent on someone, because we're speaking about a man now and a woman, but it could happen the other way around.
Yeah.
Just go and ensure that everything is above board. Yeah. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't think someone's just going to contact you. You have to take initiative.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, you just took the time to create a scenario where it's fair, I guess, if I'm understanding you correctly, for a man to have both a wife and a girlfriend. But the shocking element of it, and le wives, what makes them get caught so unready and unaware, and then they suffer financially after losing a man, is where the wife is sitting at home busy being dependent on her man and raising kids with him, and then meanwhile he's running another live relationship, 1 or 2 or 3 other live relationships. Sure. But that's not the issue. And I've never made a point about talking about those, but I'm saying I'm not going into the morality of that. I'm going to the financial consequence in relation to the pension only, where Section 37C is concerned. Sure. And I'm saying that the means, after determining that these people are in fact dependents, the legal ones will be the ones with legal cause. The wife because of the marriage, and the children because of the biological relation. The factual, and by children I mean both the children of the wife and the side chick.
Sure. Those are all legal.
Yeah. Then the factual will be people who aren't legally connected to him, but can factually prove they were depending on him. And that's where your EFT and your e-wallets are coming up. And men are saying, oh, instead we're just going to have to draw cash then. I would say, yeah, let's...
But wait, stop giving women money.
Guys.
Stop giving.
I would say stop cheating.
Stop giving women money. Look, my lesson.
Meanwhile, you go on, and where you go, you give a woman money after telling men.
Look, there's a couple of things here. We need to move on. Number one, thank you for the education.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Number two, there are so many other layers that we could unpack here.
Yeah,
because we're speaking death.
Yeah.
I'd have questions around divorce, because you're speaking about a mama that had to go and take out her pension and quit her job. But now there's concerns around dependence, man divorce, where the girlfriends or the side chicks sebefuna imali ya mama or umuzi side chick yazi ukuthi umuzi kababa kanti the woman, the wife was paying. So it gets very, very messy. And really people must educate themselves.
They should. They should.
This is from me. It's not from you. This is not legality or whatever. I really urge, number one, men to stop giving women money carelessly. This is just me. Number two, for women who choose to be housewives or who want to be side chicks, I think where possible, please see if this guy can do like a debit order. If it's like proper dependency, like in a house and cook rent. If you're a housewife in particular, this is my suggestion. Like I said, I'm not a legal anything.
Sure, go ahead.
See if this guy can you guys can draft a payslip and he sends you money, so that it's so much easier to prove these things later. Then you look bag or what to 300 la and then 400 la. That becomes so messy where you could do things better.
Yeah.
But to Amachita, don't send money. If you are going to send money, please do it properly. Make sure to yahlala no sisin khulumuthi mama ngithi siyaphilisana mina now. In this way, ngicela ukuthumela imali kanje.
Yeah.
And speak about these uncomfortable things and say, look, if ever I pass away, sinengane. If ever I pass away, ngiyazi ukuthi uphila ngami.
Sure.
I may not tell umamkhulu because it might hurt or whatever the case may be, which is wrong. But
it is wrong.
Please know that you can claim, I've written you down. If you don't want to do all of those things because of just don't give money then. So that you avoid hurting the people you
that
say
version
you care
of
about.
don't give money to women, I agree with. The general umbrella,
I don't give money.
We
can keep it moving.
But I fully agree, and I'm glad that our sitting down and our discussions has allowed you to come up with the summary, because at the end of the day, it's not only about protecting the wife and her heart and her dignity. It really is about protecting the children and making sure that those children have money. In fact, abantu nje besifazane ngathi bangafunda ukuba independent rather.
Yeah.
Independent.
Relying on a man.
Relying on a man.
Is very dangerous.
And a man is not an estate plan.
Yes.
He really isn't.
Yes.
He shouldn't be. And if you're making a man an estate plan, you already have gone wrong. Because nibaninge naleyo mqondo loyo. Mqondo ongasile loyo. Now, and obviously I say that because I'm a mother of boys.
Protect the boys, the boys.
But the boy child needs protection too. What's important, another thing I wanted to raise quickly before we move on from Section 30C to recognition of customary or your list is a lot of women then were commenting in the recent video, but what if you married to him in committal property? Or what if you have an antenuptial contract that specifically states that you get the pension when you get divorced or die? And I'm saying Section 37C overrides everything.
Yes.
Your marriage, your anti-nuptial contracts, there's no will. In fact, again, it's used as a consideration tool. If you must, as a man, you can write a clause in your will that says, I do have multiple other women that I send money to, and I'm saying they are not my dependents. I'm doing it while I'm alive. I do not wish this to be a consideration or considered in terms of Section 37C, should I die before I have taken my pension. Because remember, Section 37C only triggers upon death. It doesn't, not for abantu who have taken their pension. Once they've taken their pension, Section 37C is out of the table unless they convert the pension into another pension product, like a life, I think it's, I can't remember, but it's a retirement annuity. Yeah, if you've converted into a retirement annuity, then obviously, should you pass away without taking that money out, Section 37C will come up. So it's very important for women to not sit and relax. And whatever your marriage regime is, it doesn't matter. And also, to your point, if a wife is estranged to her husband and he has not been giving her money, then she can't prove dependency. Because just the marriage alone is not sufficient to say you are dependent. You can be married to a man, but you earn more than him, which is becoming the case a lot lately.
It is.
Because of women empowerment
Yes.
and making men very angry at women. But that's a topic for another day. Yeah, I'm good with Section 37C. Usacabangani?
No, let me not comment. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. There's a scary thing you just said about the powers of overriding, because we've heard it in the Black Coffee case, which we're not discussing today. And people are getting more and more worried. Ukuthi, just because ngishadile, just because I have a will, just because I've nominated a beneficiary, just because, therefore automatic. And we're learning more and more that, look, these are good courts, in my opinion, of which I hate the legal industry. But
yes, we know you.
Where the courts override and they go into morality and justice. So, no, Mama says he wrote all of this in your name. But the reality is, uneyingane. Yes, it's ngaphandle. Yes, wakuzusubhlungu. Yes, siyaxolisa. Yes, nashada. Everything. But we can't, as a court of law, say, well, he said, so his kids must go hungry. That is immoral. So they override in those cases, which is a good thing. But it's scary for ordinary people who think they've done everything right.
Yeah. Look, also it's important, I'm glad you raised that. The Section 37C is only on the pension.
Yeah.
The estate, your right, the Wills Act gives you a right to exclude your children from inheriting from your estate. You can exclude them. You can do a will where if you have 5 children, you only write 4.
But the courts have the power to override.
The courts, 100%. They can take the will to court.
So shame.
Yeah, so in South Africa, the Constitution is the apex. It overflows everything. It says law must be executed fairly.
Yeah.
Now, the definition of this fairness is obviously not, we are not aligned. Because in terms of the recognition of customary marriages, the fairness are the cases we're going to talk about now. The one where the court annulled a second customary marriage because it wasn't fair, because the first wife didn't consent.
Yes.
Or the fact that in the Black Coffee and Bali case, there's this one thing people need to understand about it that I don't really also want to go into that case because it's been overly discussed. But it's the principle of fairness that made them disregard the anti-nuptial contract. It's the principle of fairness that the Constitution is, imposing when decisions are being made. And so in that relation, yes, we're happy that the courts are acting in that way. But is the Constitution itself fair? That's a discussion for other people.
That's for you to ask that philosophical question.
All right. So we got, yes, you can no longer, so before, and that's the thing about the recognition, we've moved on to the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act now.
Recognition of Customary Marriages.
Yeah. Okay. Recognition of Customary Marriages Act 1998. Yeah.
Don't worry
it's such an important act. Oh, yeah, of course, I shouldn't have to wait for you while you squibble. It's it's such an important act because it's impacting abantu abamnyama.
Yeah.
Yeah. And majority of the people in this country, abantu abamnyama. Now, we know, like, just from a summary perspective, the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act says every customary marriage entered into in 1998 and before is recognized. Every customary marriage entered into in 1998 and after is recognized. The recognition criteria is the 3 requirements. You have to be at legal age, which is 18 in South Africa. You both have to consent to being married customarily. And the last requirement, you need to have negotiated and celebrated Those are the 3 requirements. And because of these 3 requirements, everyone is now finding themselves married customarily upon the first visit, lobola. Whether that lobola is finished or not, doesn't matter. These 3 requirements are just stated. Did you hear me mention lobola in them? No.
You didn't. I actually wanted to ask
how
to negotiate what?
That's where it's then inferred.
That number 3 is the most complicated part.
It's where the ambiguous nature of it's where people have been confused, because customarily I'm going to use Zulu, and I do this when I'm doing legal clinics or I'm publicly speaking. I'm going to use Zulu because obviously usiko lasekhaya ilona engilaziyo, you know. And I say kukhona lento yomfana ogibela isihlahla. They get on the tree before abakhongi arrive, the people who are coming to negotiate and pay lobola. And according to our culture, lobola is an engagement. It's not even a marriage. It's an engagement. So when they come, these abakhongi, firstly, you have met the first requirement by virtue of being legal age, 18. You've met the second requirement, your consent, by virtue of the man writing the lobola letter and his family. And when that letter is released to the woman's family, it means the man has consented, because the letter is gone. And when the family of the woman reads that letter and it says we're coming on the certain day, let's say 14 August, because that's a magical day. 14 August is my birthday. So when the woman's family says, yes, you can come on the 14th of August, consent is then assumed. They're consenting to them coming to start the process of a customary marriage.
I send a letter, the family responds yes and yes.
Yes.
That becomes
consent. Both the man's family has consented by sending the letter, the woman's family. And by family we mean, obviously when it comes down to it, it's about anything that's got to do with marriage or divorce is personal law. It's about the people. Okay. So it means the man has consented by allowing the letter to go, and the woman has consented by allowing her family to invite abakhongi.
Sorry to disturb. Letter is physical. Can it be emailed? Can it be WhatsApp, text?
It's never been emailed. But I'm sure if you were to be emailed now and you take into consideration the evolution of law of evidence, it would be considered as a...
Because we're only discussing number 2, where you guys are now disputing something.
Yeah. Because
fundamentally, but we want to advise people, where possible, please send physical letters, scan them
physical letters,
whatever the case may be.
Yes. You remember,
in case there's issues.
You remember the case of the 45-year-old customary marriage, where a man paid lobola for a woman 45 years ago, moved on with his life, that relationship ended, met another woman, paid lobola for her, and married her a civil marriage in terms of the Marriage Act. And then when he died, the civil wife, Olocholiwe and Oshate on a certificate in her wardrobe, her marriage, was nullified.
Sure, I remember the case. I think they were not South African.
45 years ago. I wouldn't even
one of them was not South African.
We're going to now trek into another career path. But the lady from 45 years ago, for her to get the estates 45 years later, she must have kept the letter.
Yeah,
she must have
the
kept
Constitutional
the
Court should have intervened, but people will decide how far they want to go with the law.
It's when you take the cases to the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't come down to fetch cases. The cases go down up to 100. Now, that's what I'm saying. The third requirement then, which has the ambiguous nature, is the negotiation and celebration. And now I'm using Zulu. That's where we are. Yeah. I'm using Zulu as an example. I asked in the clinic I was running on Friday if the Tswana community can tell me what their process is, and the Basotho and the Bapedi, the Tsonga and the Venda and the Bavenda, if they can just share what their process is. But what we can see is obviously that it all amalgamates into lobola. Somewhere, seems to be the unifying factor and the common.
It's the one common thread. You can say anything else, but
I haven't run into a usiko where we shut up some diary of sorts. Sure. Now, when in the Zulu culture you get to the gates, there's a boy or an uncle on the tree there, and then you must put down money to say, okay, you are busy negotiating. Because as you put down the money to ask him to come down, you are putting down 500, and they're like, no, 500. 500 Fagomunyu 500. You are right in the middle of negotiating at that point.
Legally now.
Legally
now. We're
now.
not speaking culture.
Yes,
we're
remember how
legally,
we got here, we said the Constitution is fair, the Constitution says fairness, but the Constitution necessarily doesn't have the criteria of each and every culture, because let me use the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act to show where it can't also spread fairness in terms of our culture. Yeah. It can only spread fairness in terms of the Roman Dutch law principles, which is the legal governance of our country. Roman Dutch law, Africans, South Africans, very far from each other.
100%.
And you watch this play in the interpretation and execution of the recognition of customary marriage.
Yeah.
The Constitution wants to be fair by saying women in the African custom have been taken advantage of. Men only pay deposits of a lobola.
Yes.
They don't finish, but they proceed to live a married life with them, give them children, use their wombs, use their light to create. Yeah, they use their wombs to create their heirs.
Just to intervene.
And they create these little heirs of their dynasty. And this woman, as soon as this man dies, she gets kicked out by his family, not even him.
Yeah.
He stays honoring her for the rest of his life. And then uthi hayi awuzange uthela unyonga ucacanga ejardini phuma umuzi kabhuti wethu lo. So the Constitution wants to spread fairness there by recognizing a customary marriage at its core. By virtue of coming, after sending the letter and being over the legal age, by virtue of coming to that woman's house and entering these negotiations where you take down the men from the tree and the gate finally opens, and as the gate opens, they give you bottles of whiskey and whatever vodka. I don't know what it was in the days of Shaga when there was no whiskey. Or maybe there was whiskey then.
Not amabele, marula and sokam. We had our own versions of,
mkombo.
Before this type of alcohol we have now.
Yeah. So we are right in the middle of negotiation, is what the law is telling us. And then they get into the house, they then say, I see, we come from this family, we're here for your daughter, our son wants your daughter, and as a show of Ubuntu and Ubuhle and the goodness of what we're here for, boom, they leave a deposit. We're just going to give you 1 cow, okay? And then after that, they ask, how much is the full lobola? Then the other family says, thank you for the 1 cow. We accept your kindness and goodness. The full lobola is this. And then afterwards, they eat. As they leave, people are already married in comital property.
Which part of that is celebration?
The celebration is when they're eating.
They're eating?
Yes, the food, they get served. And no one has ever left such a meeting.
Bengadlang.
We cook for it.
The confusion has to do with the fact that, look, maybe let me try to defend them, which I never do. Many people in your industry, of course, are trying to incorporate customary law. It's not what you're initially trained in. And it becomes difficult to interpret because some of the judges are not black.
100.
Some of the judges, even if they are black, could be Christian. They don't necessarily follow customs. Okay. Some are black, but where they come from, different things are celebrated. And at the end of the day, in having to decide all of this, they have to start here with Roman Dutch and then be like, we're listening to you guys. And at least the cases I've read, different judges have ruled in different ways. Wakoka 200 rand, segui lobol. No, mele a celebration needs to be, and people must be dancing. And you're like, no. Some are like, no, but sadla. You're like, oh, that's a celebration. You're like, no, ugudla can't be a celebration.
It's not a celebration.
So
I eat every day. I celebrate every day.
Come on. So it becomes very complicated.
Yeah,
but thank you for giving.
Quotes are needed. Yeah.
Thank you for giving those 3 things. I want to make one note. I'm not sure if you want to carry on with this, but I'm just making a note.
Yeah.
You can comment or not.
Okay, sure.
I have an issue with the fact that customary law is dealt with in Western courts. And
not
I implore traditional leaders, advisors to traditional leaders, people that can influence traditional leaders, to have a serious conversation about empowering tribal courts to deal with all of these matters, or to all agree as a unit of traditional leaders that we are now letting this go, so that Western courts can say, okay, since the traditional leaders have handed over, we call it evolution, whatever they want to, we will now set our own requirements for what we deem a customary marriage. Because what's happening
And we
with
won't
this...
go to custom to get the requirements. We're going to go to Roman Dutch
Yes,
law.
because what's happening here, very problematically, and this happened to Umisuzulu's father, Inkosi Zwelithini, who's passed on. There was a dispute in court with his first wife saying, I was married in civil. So all these other marriages he had are null and void according to the law. Misuzulu himself, his throne was fought by Usmagade in Western courts. And you're like, I don't understand how we're meant to interpret this. Because when we say yisintu, and then sonke sivumelane, nenkosi nenduna, sonke sivumi. And then someone aqashuka and goes to Western courts and then they override all of that. What are we actually saying? The customary parts, and this is not for Western law practitioners to get involved, because you guys are doing the best you can with what you have. And I'm saying for the people that believe in customs and tradition, guys,
I agree with you.
Either empower these courts so that once you leave the tribal court, you're like, anything that happens there, Tina, we don't recognize it anymore. You can win utati mali, kodwa wazi ukuthi asag recognize umZulu or umpedi because shoot awusihloniphi wena. Once inkosi nenduna ikhulumile, wena kumele uze ngomlungu ogqoke ijazi elimnyama. So they must make that decision. Or let it go and say, guys, we feel like it's out of our powers, out of our authority, it's too complicated. So mina ngiyinkosi, mina ngiyinduna, I've said ngicela niye kuyinkantolo niyobona nenze njani.
No, there's
so
no
that
letting,
we know.
No,
I hear you, but I was just saying
too,
it's a very important note.
And I wasn't gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna comment on this, but letting go, the cost is too high. It's too high. We can't lose our culture because we can't lose our culture. We really can't. And once the critical decisions in relation to our culture are relinquished entirely to Roman Dutch, then we might as well start learning usiko lama Roman nama Dutch.
Correct. But it's because of the failures. If you and I, safika Mlotshwa, says Zola Mbatha, kwashadwa kwalotsholwa, whatever, and we're disputing. The family, you and I can't see eye to eye. Our families come together, which also doesn't happen today. Black people come together for the marriage. They don't come together for the divorce. So our families come together. So we escalate. To induna, to inkosi, whoever's got an authority to say, this is what happened. Mfana wa lobola insizwa wa thelwa ngenyongo. What happened? Okay, Tina isiko lethu ngoba ni Mbatha sazombathi benza nje. We bring elders from Mbatha. Sazi the elders from Mlotshwa. Okay. This is the resolution. Mama, you'll stay in this marriage. Mama usunga khululeka. And we're done.
These are the essence. This is the dissolution.
What's happened is we fight. The families don't get involved. We don't go to it. You go straight to court. So we are saying we don't believe in our own things.
Ourselves, the people that have taken part in these customary marriages. Yes.
You must lobola me. As soon as we fight, you go to court.
But look, if Ananje, like the state of South Africa, when the hierarchy is broken, in the absence of leadership, correct, governed, ethical, working leadership, then obviously you have your hegemons running around being leaders, unappointed leaders, which is going to make the young ones at the bottom also decide, no, what authority, why must I listen to these people? I want to make my own decisions. So in that regard, there has to be a forceful recognition of customary court processes. They have to build it. If you've done some weird things and all of that stuff, and so that I agree with the fact that cultural leaders in South Africa have been lax,
and a lot of them
have
are
been
patriarchal
relaxed, and I'm
oppressive
so disappointed.
to women.
Yeah, but we'll see. If I choose to abide to my culture, I understand that culture. I can fight it. No, but then that's a different conversation. The conversation, I'm not going to go down that road because it's 30 minutes.
My apologies.
The conversation we are having here is there has to be a customary form that makes decision on customary living. And once that decision is made, the Constitution and the courts that fall under the Constitution must recognize that decision. A customary law decision should not be made in a court that is holistically bound by Roman Dutch law. It should be referred to. What I mean by that is, induna must be given an office to make decisions. And that decision must be so upholding that only then can you, yes, it will come off as if our cultural decisions still fall under. But that's because of the Constitution. That's the work of a Constitution. That's the work of being colonized and our land being taken and forget anything. We haven't gotten anything back. Instead, we keep losing. So we have to hold on to the little. And the little that we have ubuntu bethu, isintu sethu. And it's because of how powerful ubuntu bethu is that this outside, people from outside are trying so hard to convince us that we must let go of. And that's why I don't agree with. Then otherwise, it's either we get the cultural courts or we relinquish our cultural decisions to court. That's why I don't agree with the second part, because it's almost going along with the agenda, as if usiko lethu abalulekile. And for such a thing that's being spoken of as if it's not important, it's surprising to see how many people are copying it then. Outside of our cultures, right from the clothes to the Zulu festival that happens in America, and you don't even know what that's about because they're even using the wrong Zulu figures. But it's because of the intrigue and the like of our culture. So you can't have your spiritual leaders telling us we must ignore our culture, but then you keep celebrating it. Didn't the English king, the current king, slaughter a goat to take up being a king? But we are being told that it's demonic in our own cultures. Yeah, well, so it's a lot of things you can bring into why is culture important. And once you understand the importance of it, then you'll understand why it's important to protect it. And the biggest risk to anything in life that we are living is death and dispute. Because once someone dies, they can't speak for themselves. Anyone is coming to say whatever they want. Once there's dispute, we then are relinquishing the right to make a decision over to the courts, and any decision can be made. Yeah, but so it's important to have cultural courts. For me, it's what I keep saying. I've been saying it since January. It would be great if we could see our cultural leaders stand up for usiko lethu, because it's really that important. And to a point where they demand authority. Okay, fine, you haven't gotten to a point where you got the land back, but at least stand up for your culture. Yeah, that's it. So in this Black Coffee case, what's important now, and that's what I've been saying about the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act, is that I don't like that act. I've been saying it for years. I wrote an article about it when I was still a candidate attorney over 10 years ago, where I explained, Uguti, the problem with it is it's so ambiguous in nature, and it doesn't show that the proper consultation took place here. And you can see that now, 10 years later, after I started saying that in articles, Alama decisions that are coming up left, right, and center. In Recognition of Customary Marriages Act is the rules only become entrenched once a court case has been unleashed on us. So at any given point in time, what's a fact today can change next month because the court has made a decision about it. And that's the problem with acts that are taken out and they're not complete, like the Bella Act. It's hectic that you can take out an act and then say, we'll fix it as it goes. And that's the other thing. When I started getting calls from members of parliament who wanted to find out, that have retired, by the way. Most of the ones that have contacted me have already retired. So let me put it this way. When I started getting calls from retired members of parliament about the Alexander Forbes and the form between a pension and a retirement annuity and a living annuity, which is what that asset in the Mabuza case is, which is completely not even a pension anymore. It's almost like a life cover because it's regulated by the Long-Term Insurance Act. When they were calling, so many of them commented, Uguti, hey, mtanami, we made these acts. This is parliament. What does it did that in namhlanje? Can you believe that? I appreciate and I respect the people I spoke to on the phone. In fact, I even like them. I like old people. They hold a special place in my heart. But my heart was so sore to hear some couple of people confess, Uguti, they signed law in without thinking futuristically. How is this law going to didisa everything and everyone? That they are realizing, because it hits where their biggest asset is, which is their living annuities and their pension funds. Yeah, but so the law is so important, and I don't think, like a lot of things in the country, enough importance has not been put into the things we're doing and how we're doing them. Now, lastly, the lesson here is you can now, if Usulobolil, you can no longer enter into an anti-nuptial contract with the view of then converting from a customary marriage to a civil marriage with the same spouse. Whereas before, you could do that. You could, I'm going to say this example, Mlotshwa Mbatha.
Yes.
You could come, uzolobola Mbatha, and then we realize, okay, people made the mistake of thinking lobola and white wedding are two different processes. Meanwhile, lobola is a customary marriage, and the church and the home affairs registration is civil marriage. But Oksala, they are both marriages. Now, before, you could start with the lobola process, Spend a year, that's generally the amount of time people spend. Spend a year planning for the actual white wedding, and then before the white wedding, enter into an anti-nuptial contract so that it's out of communal property. Sure. Do the white wedding, sign, and then the anti-nuptial contract is registered at the deeds office, right? The Black Coffee and Mlotshwa case has insanely removed that as an option now. You can no longer do that as at last month. Once you sue lobolile, you are now permanently in communal property. There's no changing it unless you do what is called a post-nuptial contract. And this is where you enter into a regulation of your marriage contract, but you must both go to court and get the court to recognize that post-nuptial contract first.
I keep hearing that the post-nuptial is expensive.
Yeah, anything that's got to do with litigation is expensive. I mean, you find know when you're trying to change your marriage from incommutal property to out of commutal property, which is what everyone who's a customary marriage is about to do now. You have to apply in court. It's mostly an ex parte application. In other words, an application where no one is defending. But there's an advertisement requirement to creditors. Creditors must not object to you converting your marital regime from incommutal property to out of commutal property, which brings the point I've been trying to make all along. A marriage in commutal property is not proof that we love each other. It's just a system that allows creditors to have access to two estates. And in the 14 years that I've been in the legal practice as a candidate attorney, as an attorney, or as an LLB graduate, I have not come across, I haven't had a lot of family law clients because I'm an estate planner, a fiduciary specialist. Sure. But of course, family law comes into estate planning. I have not come across a white family or white couple that is married in commutal property. Not in commutal property. Not once. But remember, I'm not a family law lawyer. I don't divorce people. But I deal with family law when I do estate planning. And I have not come across, I'm not saying there aren't white people who are married in commutal property. There are thousands of them or whatever the number is. But I'm saying in my practice from a practical perspective and and data perspective, I have not run into a white couple that is married in commutal property. They have all been married out of commutal property, most out of commutal property with the accrual.
Sure.
Right? For the principle of fairness, whatever we're building. And it's incommutal property, whatever you came with, whatever I came with, it's a combined estate. Yeah. Out of commutal property, whatever is yours, whatever is mine. Out of commutal property with the accrual, whatever is yours before our marriage and whatever is mine before our marriage, and your debt and my debt are each other, are yours and mine. But whatever we build together from the day we get married, that estate will then obviously be divided in terms of a formula I won't go into. But the protection here is your debts still remain yours.
It's system, but that's why they know it. And
that's
I can imagine they would get married, build something, and then get divorced. And whatever we built must remain ours. And then let me go and build something with someone else. But it can't be that Indle Saitenga is now going to...
And
because
like
I understand...
to go build a new marriage with the old house, which you took from your family. It was a family home.
I wanted to make this point and then ask a question. The first point, no problem. The first point is you legal fundis and the people that are legal academics need to consider looking at the reality of the world, making all marriages out of community of property by default. And rather have people opt into
to go
versus
in.
The other way, because it just seems destructive.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two was the question you spoke about before you get married, doing the anti-nuptial and then registering it at the deeds registry.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, I don't know if you have an answer to this. Would this be something that now, after the Black Coffee and Mlotshwa's case, to say, guys at the deeds registry, if people are coming to lodge an anti-nuptial contract, please ask them first, was lobolo paid? Ilobolo paid? Amalobola paid?
Yes.
Because then you're going to have problems. So we need to tell you guys, if kwako kwamalobolo, please rather go and resolve this thing, because we'll register. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But in later.
Yeah. Look, I think that obligation sits mainly with the lawyer drafting the anti-nuptial contract.
They should do better.
Because you don't do... I didn't say they should do better.
No, I'm saying they should do better in terms of advising. To say, look, there was a case.
No.
I'm just saying, now that there's it can't be like, hey, you loboted my brother, well done. Okay, let's draft this thing.
Let's quickly,
They should do better in saying, hey,
if we found the lawyers who did the anti-nuptial contract for Mbali, Enhle, and Black Coffee, of course, it's like tomato in their face. That's literally what the judgment said. she was ill-advised to sign the anti-nuptial contract after she was already married in commutable property. But then remember what I just said to you now. Before you could lobola, spend the whole year planning for your white wedding, and then do an anti-nuptial contract then. So
that's
we don't know
do.
if that's what. Yeah, that's
Generally.
what all black people are doing. Yeah, the Mbali, Enhle, and Black Coffee cases literally just said you can't do that anymore since 3 weeks ago.
It's got a new problem though now because before you lobola again, siyakwazi ukuhlala phansi senze prenup.
Yeah, you should.
No, you should, but be honest. Abantu abafuna ukuyolotshola senhle nabameli nina you're drafting a prenup before ngithumela abakhongi.
Yeah.
Is weird. It's going to be a shift.
Oh, a lot of people
because for some people it's like sengikulobolile, let's now do the legalities.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Now to say let's do the legalities, awukazi uzongicela ekhaya.
Yeah,
no.
Notaries will tell you, Pen, even when you're dating, rather do an anti-nuptial contract because vele ngai Vegas and get married. You know, when you are in the mood, good things and bad things can happen.
It's a binding contract, even if you're not.
It's not binding.
Married.
It doesn't do anything to you. It's like a useless fruit if you're not going to get married. But I'm not saying people should go around doing anti-nuptial contracts for their relationships because it's a 2,000 to 3,000 rand cost.
Okay. Some people don't mind.
Yeah, if you don't mind, do it. That I've heard a notary advise my clients because I take my clients to lawyers for services, and that's why we're building this ecosystem of lawyers for the community, for the national legal clinic that I'm running in it. So the clients that can afford it, they get to be taken to other lawyers for service of each nature. Yeah. So now we're building this ecosystem so that the clients, the people who can't afford lawyers can also have access to them. But what I'm saying is that notary even went as far as to tell my clients that they should definitely all do anti-nuptial contracts because they are all beneficiaries of an estate worth a lot of money, right? And that lawyer was telling the mother, who is the mother of the boys of the deceased man, your sons are now about to inherit a lot of money when this estate is completed. And it's family estate. So it's best that they do anti-nuptial contracts for whoever they are dating. And then the mom said, what if they end up not marrying? She says, it's fine. It's like a bullet you put in the chamber, but you never use.
Insurance.
Yeah, just in case. Exactly.
For some people, that 2,000, 3,000, they wouldn't mind.
Yeah, do it. And the thing
themselves.
about the anti-nuptial contract is you can do it today and you're getting married tomorrow. The law doesn't require you to take it to the deeds office this Friday.
As long as the date
you have 3 months.
No, but I'm just saying as long as the date and I signed
before date of marriage, and then there's 3 months for the conveyancing attorney or notary to lodge it at the deeds office. After that, it's invalid. And if you find yourself in that space where the lawyer forgot to lodge it, then of course you can sue them because they've now put you in an incommutable property marriage. But lawyers wouldn't make a mistake like that. Please.
A note from something we mentioned earlier. So Patrice Mutsipe, through his company African Rainbow Minerals, African Rainbow Capital, ARC, owns about 34% of Alexander Forbes. They started off with 10% back in 2016, and then they increased their shareholding.
Okay.
The other major shareholders are the PIC at just under 5%, and a company called Newfeld LLC, which is basically owned by Prudential Financial Incorporated. But Mutsipe owns
quite a sizable.
Yeah. Or it depends on the source. Some sources say about 34%, others say about 44%.
Okay.
So Alexander Forbes le Parliamente. No comment. In your opinion.
Yeah.
Do you think the South African law should allow for both civil and customary marriages to exist simultaneously? What that means is, should people be paying dowry, ilobolo, having a celebration, negotiating, and then that becomes their official customary marriage date, and then still be allowed to go and sign? Or should we say, no, you can only have one? So once you've done this, the first question is, yes, or then you can't enter into this.
Yeah.
You would have to go and annul that. But now I don't know what that means. Do you come and prove you were married and then get out? And then do you think both should exist? Because I think that's part of the problem that we have.
Look, I think the biggest problem, what's causing all of these problems and all of these cases is the fact that that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
We've, as a black people, we've been entering a customary marriage and a civil marriage with the same partner. We thought it is the process, is the culture.
Sure.
You have about, and I keep repeating this, you have about 12 months to plan for the civil marriage.
Sure.
But I also find of late that people have picked up in pride in their customary marriages. And obviously the discussion of recognition of customary marriages act, a lot of data is out there about it. So now people have started, instead of going and getting a white dress, they get like a cultural dress, and then it's got like the whole veil, and it's no culture is beautiful. We saw it in Inimba in the Xhosa wedding. It was so beautiful to see. Ooh, hey, our culture is beautiful. Hey, our cultures are beautiful. Beautiful. If we can be so proud of our cultures and how beautiful they are in the way that everyone else is, then we might just start finding the light back to ourselves. Now, my answer to your question is, it was really the norm to enter both. But the case law, which is why I even wrote them down in this very cute diary of mine, has proving that the second one is useless, it's redundant. You already have entered a customary marriage. You can't enter both. You
shouldn't, but you can.
You can't. You can.
But the second one is just
useless,
for show.
Yeah. It's like that useless bullet. Yes. It doesn't.
What if you started with civil? What if you started with civil?
No,
so you and I go and sign?
No, but the law is clear on that.
No,
but the law is very clear on that. Once you've entered a civil marriage, you cannot enter a customary marriage. That's the only way. It's clear.
But what does that mean?
When but that marriage is not recognized. It's
so we
invalid.
Can't go and register it?
No, you cannot.
You can register the
a customary marriage after entering a civil marriage. But Home Affairs will show that you are in a civil marriage, and you're not going to be able to register your customary marriage. You can't enter legally a customary marriage after being married civilly. That's what the law is saying. Can you do the other one? You can do it the other way around.
Can you register a customary marriage and then go register civil?
No.
Or does it pick up?
Remember that what has been causing issues is that the customary marriage do not need to be registered.
Sure.
Right? You can, but they don't need to.
Sure.
Now, people have been entering these customary marriages, whether it's with the same partner, by virtue of loboling now and then getting into the civil marriage a year later, or paying lobola for one woman, moving on, and then marrying another woman civilly. The law is saying, based on the case laws of this year, the customary marriage is valid.
Yeah.
Therefore, any other marriage outside of that is not valid. Which is why I said a lot of people are sitting with civil marriages, invalid civil marriages in their wardrobes. And it's hundreds of thousands of people. Because balobo. Yeah, and now the case of the woman of 45 years ago has shown us that these women have been keeping these lobola letters. Because that's the proof. That's the major proof. The lobola letter, the pictures, and affidavits from people who were present.
I'm going to ask you a question. I know I wrote down this case. I just want to find it, but I want to ask you a question. By the way, Uzwelithini, this was his issue. His wife was saying, you married me under civil. All these other marriages are null and void.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even go into that case as a discussion point at all, especially because the court itself has decided this is not something that will be decided in court. It's such a Zulu customary thing. Take it to the customs.
I'm going to see if I can find the case. I've tasted a bit of your life.
Okay.
And I've made a couple of videos around customary marriage and those things.
Okay, I saw that.
Got a lot of DMs on TikTok and on Facebook.
Yeah.
The one question I was getting from a lot of women is my ex-boyfriend. Wang lobola 10 years ago. Wafike ekhaya washiya 10,000, 20,000, and then sahlukana 2 years later. So now I'm panicking. Am I married? Number one. And then number two, there was a law, and I don't know if you have any intel on it or if you want to comment on it, that is speaking about all customary marriages next year in 2026.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that down here.
Must be registered, otherwise they won't be taken seriously. So, I'm actually married because I've moved on. I've got a new partner. Are you saying that I'm actually still married? Should I? But must we go register that customary and then we get out of it? Like, what should we do?
Look, it's not even a problem. It's just that Abosisi are being empowered now. I mean, the other day we were talking about the amazing stats. Black females are the largest buyers of immovable property. So they are very much empowered. Oh, my sister. And I urge them to protect their estates, do estate planning. With that being said, men and women are experiencing this now because of the amount of cases that have been decided this year. Starting from last year, October, by the way, which is where this period you're talking about was given, where you have until 31 August 2026 to register your customary marriage. But it doesn't necessarily invalidate your customary marriage.
If you don't register it.
Yeah, it doesn't. What it does is where it's now time to prove that you are customarily married. If you fail to register by the 31st of August, you lose a point. You have lost some points. So now you have to prove even harder that you are married customarily because the question
so it's just to try and make life easier.
to try and clean up this mess of unregistered customary marriages where people are entering invalid civil marriages.
Okay. Not to invalidate
the
anyone
only
who's
time
not
it will be
registered.
invalidated is when the new marriage bill has converted into a marriage act, and then 12 months will be given. After that 12 months,
You register or nothing.
You register or nothing.
Ukubai, that's managing
But the
that.
act is not out yet, and it's being held by one thing, yes. That makes this act, from what I'm seeing, there isn't the new marriage bill, because in new marriage bill, year 2023. Even before this 2024 grace period to 31 August, there was already discussions and drafting of the new marriage bill from 2023 that's going to come with new requirements that are going to clean up this whole customary marriage, civil marriage, non-recognition of Hindu marriages, non-recognition of Muslim marriages, all of that stuff. All of it will be amalgamated and regulated by one act, the New Marriage Act, which is currently the New Marriage Bill of 2023. And from what I can see, the only reason that act is not out yet is because the women are toying a bit against it. Because it's really cleaned up everything. It says we're going to amalgamate, we're going to take the Civil Marriage Act of before, and we're going to take the Marriage Act of now, and we're going to take the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act 1998, and we're going to take the non-recognized Hindu and Muslim marriages. We're going to put them all under one act, and they will all be recognized, and they will all be forced to register immediately for that marriage to be valid.
Why are women doing?
So it covers there, and then it also further, it recognizes polygamous marriages, but it adds a strict requirement that the wives of whatever customary polygamous marriage are there already when this act comes into effect must have given the husband written consent
I agree with
before
that.
he can take another polygamous partner.
Ziningi ithembu zomkokotelo lapha.
It's uncultural. Non-cultural polygamous marriages, but yet they are getting recognition because of the culture they are declaring to be under. And the women are toying against this, which is delaying. For it to come into effect, because we need it to clean up this whole chaotic customary marriage versus civil marriage issue. But their issue with the act is that it recognizes polygamous. No, I'm not finished. Musuk babas.
Bengazi ukuthi we're going here. Baba Msele usaxolisa mfowethu.
Let me finish what their issue is, because I don't want it to be an umbrella as if women have an issue with polygamous marriages, which they do, very. It's just that I'm gebash. The act recognizes polygamous marriage in that a man can take more than one wife, but it refuses to recognize polyandry. And they are saying, how is that equal?
Yeah, this is one of the cases that I actually once covered. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's the issue.
That's the issue.
Imiso polyandry.
Polyandry.
There's a white lady. I've made videos about. There's a white lady in Durban, I think in Palito.
Yeah.
Got married. Her and her husband got separated. She found a new man. They got married, but they couldn't make it official. And I think she's the one fighting the case. It's always abelungu. In the same way abelungu fought for ibongo, ukuthi amadoda athathe ibongo, which is their thing. But abantu abamnyama bayathinteka ngoba ngayithi lo mthetho.
It's South African abantu abamnyama, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, polyandry faith.
So once women can have more than
Yeah,
but
just so for the sake of getting this act out, because this is very chaotic. The reason is
because of abelungu. Black people need to understand that. Abelungu won't let this thing go in because they're like, no, but we want to have this right because it's unfair, it's gender inequality.
It's gender
per
inequality.
The Constitution.
The Constitution, yes.
Or Daki might be like, no, see right. It's like, no, it's not just about you.
Yeah.
The lady I was looking for is Jane Bwanya.
Yeah.
That was the case. The lady who, customary years ago, 45 years later, what it was the Bwanya case is what I wanted to say.
So in the
So I wanted to ask you, speaking about the act and it coming into effect, And you're saying once it comes into effect, from then, when it
12
happens,
months.
it hasn't happened, you will then have to register your customary
Within
marriage
the 12 months.
within 12 months, or it will be invalid.
Then it will be invalid. Okwamanje is just
It's okay. It's just to make things
considerating
better.
factor. 100%.
And with advising people, if you're married customarily, please go register.
Yeah, go and
Please.
register your customary marriage so that you don't enter into civil marriages. Because that's what's causing the issue.
This is now the question that all these women
But now
have been
the
asking
ladies'
me.
question, they have to divorce their partners. Even if they have not seen or heard from them, they have to do what is called a substituted divorce. And I was explaining this to a gentleman at the legal clinic in Soweto on Friday. Same issue. He came with his new partner and he's saying, no, I paid lobola long time ago and it wasn't so much money and we have been separated and now I have my new person. I'm saying, okay, I want to officially confirm to you that you are in an invalid marriage currently. And the reason for that is because you have not divorced from your customary marriage. So you now have to uzehlisa puti. Whatever anger you had before to your ex, hey, I'm gone, I'm out. Aguku, I'm out. You must go back to Tobe and
Go back in.
You must go.
Go back in.
I don't know. You go back in for the sake of negotiating to exit kahle through a divorce. Now, these new divorces that are going to be coming up, you have to do them via settlement. That's what I'm suggesting. Of course, you can't control people. They're all over the place with their emotions. And that's what makes divorces so horrible. You have to try and enter into a settlement divorce. Because, Bafetu, let's be fair, you've broken up a long time ago. You've both probably moved on with new partners and have both probably ended up getting married in these civil marriages that are invalid. So you have to come sit down. Okay, the law is showing us that we are still married. Engagement. But
they didn't register.
But
Aren't they
you
protected?
don't. Registration of a customary marriage is not a requirement. I told you the 3 requirements.
So this is where people are saying to me, we never registered, so I'm fine.
So
and I tell them,
no,
that's all good and proper until ushone.
Yeah.
Lo mtshita ngoba phela bekuzonda wale uzobuya.
Nangu mama we 45
Uzobuya
years.
athi ngakhokha ilobolo.
Yeah, ngamlobola
30 years
lo.
later.
Yeah.
Ngizwile ukuthi usisi phela uzola
Sekakile la.
usevukile.
Yeah.
And that's my wife.
Yeah.
No, but she's married now. And you're like, no, that's fine.
An invalid
But
marriage.
now here's the case law. So please let me know. And the lesson here is to tell people, guys, go back and try and resolve these things.
Stop trying to ignore it or putting it under the carpet or guessing okay, they don't have a letter. Stop it.
What
People
if they just
up.
do like an affidavit or a legal letter, sit with the lawyer and say, look, we just want to write a legal letter to say, yes, I acknowledge my family went and paid Ilobolo in 2003.
Yeah.
But me and this lady are here both to sign to say, we are declaring we are not married. Is that not good enough?
Not after. It's good enough for before. A lot of people have done it. I heard, I think from, I don't know if I heard it on radio or from people commenting on Anele Mbatha's marriage. She's entering into a marriage. At the Eloboliwangi, that beautiful event that we saw on social media. Yeah. And people were like, oh, Anele is now married in commuter property. And she went on her show and said, I'm not married in commuter property. And the reason for that is that you can enter into a legal agreement before Lobola to say we are not recognizing our customary marriage.
That's possible.
Yes, it's possible before. But once you've Lobola'd, you're already in, and you're already in commuter property. And the only way to get out of that is through a court order to get a post-nuptial.
Do you think the law can protect you? I know now
the
this
law,
this
you
now
just
this
gave
now
the law
this now can get
today.
argued. No, I'm just saying. So siyavumelana legal. I need to be going to Mlotshwa. I was ill-advised. You and I decide to write a legal letter. We're gonna get married in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
But you were cheating on me badly, and I found out the child is not mine.
Oh, is cheating grounds for breaking up?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just.
Oh, we're not gonna go there.
No. I'm just making a case. I'm just making a case. Ngiyakuzonda.
Yeah.
I'm angry. You've hurt me. You've broken me. Whatever. I'm like, no, I'm married to you. And you're like, no, we wrote a legal letter. And I'm like, no, I was legally ill-advised.
I was not in the right state of mind.
Yeah. 50,000. So I feel like I'm entitled because now we're splitting because of infidelity or whatever.
Yeah. Emotions are now all over the place. Yeah.
That could be fought.
No, everything.
But that could be fought. So I'm just saying, write the legal letter, but just be watching.
Yeah, everything can be taken to court. It depends on, look, I think at the end it boils down, the law is law, the rules are rules. But at the end, it boils down to you and how you are operating.
Yeah.
How do you want your life to remain after it has ended? I mean, how do you want your estate or your legacy, rather? The most perfect word, of course, I can use is legacy.
Oh, yes, bye. On TikTok.
Yeah. Uguti, you had side chicks. Section 37C, the distribution of your pension really depends on how you behaved while you were living. Kanye said that when I was with her on her podcast. Yeah. The distribution of your pension as a woman or a man is determined by how you behave. More than the beneficiary nomination form, Pension Fund Act. How did you behave? Same with your marriage. How your marriage ends, and marriage ends in one of two ways, divorce or death. How that plays out is based on how you lived. Is how far they're gonna go. That determines how far they're gonna go. Now, including with estates as well, and the wills which is what I sadly was discovering at the clinic on Friday, is that we keep saying black people don't have wills, black people don't have wills, and the right black people don't have wills. The ones about they basically going around creating fraudulent wills.
Yeah.
There's one estate where there were 5 different wills, which were all written. Abanye, they don't even know the Wills Act requirement. They wrote them after. At least the family is saved there, because they write them after date of death, and they make the mistake of writing the date of the will after date of death. Then it obviously automatically invalidates the will. You couldn't have done it after you died. But there are ones that are making fraudulent wills with before dates of death. Now, and then they take it to the Master of the High Court for acceptance. Now you have to go get a copy of the will that's been accepted at the Master of the High Court and take it to court to go get it declared as an invalid or a fraudulent will, getting handwriting experts. Court, you can always end up in court if nabantu abangaphilisani kahle. No matter how good you do your estate planning, how well your will is, how great your trust is, how fantastic your whatever was your pension fund amount is, but how you behave while you are living determines how chaotic your affairs are when you are no longer alive.
I see, Val. There's 2 cases we didn't cover. Titi Mabuza's daughter.
Yeah.
If you and I don't get to sit, hopefully you'll touch on it if you haven't already on TikTok.
Because it's an ongoing case.
And then the one excluding absent fathers from inheriting interstate. We didn't touch on those.
No, we didn't.
Nor
did we touch on the one where the court annulled the second marriage because ubaba wa lobolo umfazi oqala, and then walobola owesibili, and then waswamshada lo wesibili civilly, and how the courts disregarded that actual relationship. If we're applying fairness, the actual relationship the man died being in is the last one. Mm-hmm. But the court recognized that first one because he didn't divorce her. And then when the wife, the second one, said, okay, it's fine, we've built together for so many years, I'm willing to share that estate with you, yeah, since you're not walking away. Then that first one was like, nope, I don't want your marriage to be recognized at all. The court went towards that. So the court cases are all over the place, which means, Nati, in order to get our affairs in order, we have to go and collect our affairs from all over the place. But yeah, estate planning is available as a discussion. I'm available to have estate planning discussions with you guys as couples, singles, about to get divorced, or family consultations, by the way, which is very important. Yeah, that's it.
Nothing else?
Look, there's always going to be something else. Yeah. So befitting. But it's been lovely being with you.
I want to give a shout out to your lady again, Dr. Sibu Lubelwana, gynecologist in Durban. Menopause is such an important conversation.
Yeah, she's
infertility is such an important conversation. Women are scared to have these conversations, and they're necessary. Shout out to you and the legal clinics that you're hosting. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Dlamini case, 1-year anniversary. Sylvia Dlamini versus Nomthandazo Dlamini and others.
Nomthandazo Dlamini versus Sylvia Dlamini.
Oh, whatever. Shout out to Malibongwe Zondi. I'm hoping you'll get us some really good clips from this sit down. Ultra Podcast, at Ultra Podcast on TikTok. Section 37C of the Pension Funds Act, very important. There's a case there. There's a lot to be learned there. Mm-hmm. The difference between legal and factual dependence for people to look up. The Recognition of Customary Marriages Act of 98. Those 3 requirements: you must be over 18, consent to the marriage. We spoke about a lobolo letter, a negotiation and a celebration. We touched on the importance of tribal leaders to actually rise up and do the right thing. Not just regarding customary marriages, but all customary matters.
Cultures,
or memulo or whatever. We spoke about civil and customary marriage, the fact that black people are entering in both, and that's a conversation
the second one is an unnecessary cost.
To say, guys, you actually
just go on
wasting
your honeymoon,
time and
buy
whatever.
a house.
Abantu base parliamente, because we know you guys watch our stuff.
Hey.
Your pensions that are sitting with Ubabu Mutsipe, that Alexander Forbes. We must have a chat on the side. Sidebar. Anti-nuptials must be done before ilobolo liyokhokwa.
Before the lobola letter is even drafted.
Let's have those conversations. The post-nuptial contract is expensive. It's a mission. It's litigation. So try and avoid that. But it is there.
But it's available.
Potentially, yeah.
100.
I suggest you agree with me that whoever runs the courts and the laws of this country, let's consider making all marriages out of community of property as a default.
As a default.
Because what it is now, the in community, yes, it comes from a legacy where women needed to be protected. But times have changed and it looks like it's more destructive.
And women need protection now.
So
yeah.
And then people must register their customary marriages.
Yeah.
If Mlotshwa siswami, please go and speak to that guy. If you'll find yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
Go and resolve that matter.
Yeah.
Before you go and register the customary marriage, go get legal advice.
Yeah. The only way that all of this is going to end is when the new Marriage Act comes. Because then after 12 months, then we don't have to worry about going to register or not. Says that marriage is gone. So until then, it's Lindel. Penuel, it's always lovely sitting with you.